Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to move my camera. You guys, I have good morning, well, afternoon or evening, depending on where you are. Jessica Carter, the Peaceful Billionaire here. So I have a little bit of a new setup today because I'm on my main computer rather than on my streaming from my laptop like I usually do. And from my phone simultaneously. So you get this beautiful Manhattan skyline in the background, and perhaps a bit of the water behind me, depending on. So anyway, so happy Friday. I am super excited to expand and share some things with you today that I think you'll be really excited about. So what I'm going to share today are some ways to overcome fear, to move through fear, to overcome it. Because last week we were talking about the fear of success, the fear of failure, and how that really shows up for you. A lot of times, especially when it comes to greater levels of financial success, right? Like wealth and success, financial freedom. And so I know that that's a big stress factor or fear factor for a lot of people. So I wanted to speak into that a little bit. And I have some surprises, and I'm going to share an untold money truth with you, an ancient untold money truth with you today. So I want to, hey there, hey Pete, how are you? Welcome. So last week, remember I was chatting about fear, right? It's that really, if you really study fear, it feels like the fear of failure, or it feels like the fear of success. But ultimately, what it is, that fear that you're afraid of is the fear of uncertainty, or the fear of the unknown, right? That's really where it shows up. Oh, my Instagram connection, come on. And so it's some of the ways that you can overcome fear. Number one is to sit with your fear and get to know it. Now, I know that might sound a little bit counterintuitive, because you're like, Jessa, the fear is uncomfortable. I don't want to sit in the fear, right? I want to run from the fear. I don't want to experience or feel the fear, right? Now, there is that saying, feel the fear and do it anyways. But what I learned on my journey when it comes to fear is you're better able to navigate fear when you actually kind of understand why it's showing up or where it's coming from. So if you can sit in that discomfort, fear of starting, yes, right? So that was my experience too on my journey, right? The fear of starting. So when it comes to fear, right? Sometimes it is that fear of getting started that is like the hardest part. And then there's other times, hey, Tim, welcome. And then there's other times on the journey where that fear shows up, and it makes it really hard to keep going. Right. So sitting with the fear and being able to experience some of that discomfort, because wealth and success is not, that next level for you is not in your comfort zone. Right? That's not where it lives. That next level for you is just inches outside of your comfort zone. So you have to be willing to step at least a little bit outside of the comfort zone initially, right? And then what happens is the more you step out of that comfort zone, what happens is those things that you're doing that were outside of that original comfort zone now become comfortable. So your comfort zone has now expanded. And then you're able to then stretch it further, right? So that's the continual thing that you're doing. You're continually stretching, because what is comfortable for you right now, 6 months from now, like, you're going to have a new comfortable, right? As long as you're continuing to learn and grow and evolve, right? That your new comfort level is going to expand. And then you get to do things that are outside of that comfort level, right? And so that's where that success continues to build. So sitting with the fear, again, why would you want to sit with the fear, right? And you just want to get to know it a little bit better. Just get to know why that fear is really there. Now, I'm going to say something right now that's probably a little bit controversial for you, or when you first hear it, you're going to be like, what is she talking about? I disagree, right? Because what happens with fear is I know that the fear feels extremely real and true in that moment, especially in the moment, right? I know how real and true the fear feels. Even if you know, even if you have the awareness of how like irrational the fear might be, you can understand like, well, I know this is unrational, but I still feel it, right? And it's still keeping me stuck, or it's still slowing me down, or sometimes is even paralyzing you. The thing is this, the fear only exists in here. The fear only exists within you. Fear is not something that is actually real out in the world, right? The fear exists inside of you, in your mind and your body. It feels very real and true. I'm not discounting it. I know how real and true and powerful it feels, right? But think about this. Think about this. Like, you can't actually go out to the store and buy fear, right? You can't actually go out and buy fear. Or similar to happiness, right? You can't go out and buy happiness. Now, what came to mind when I was thinking about this, when using this as an analogy came into my mind, while I was taking a shower this morning. I get all kinds of interesting information and downloads when I'm in the shower. But was like thinking about an amusement park. It's like, well, like I could kind of buy fear or happiness, right? If I go to an amusement park, I can, you can elicit some fear, right? Some people are afraid of roller coasters. So like that, you can elicit some fear. You can go out and pay for something that elicits some fear, right? Or elicit some joy, right? You might love roller coasters. So that roller coaster for you might feel really amazing and exciting. Whereas for somebody else, it's like, no, I don't even want to get on the roller coaster. Like, forget that, right? So again, so the fear, right? So that's the thing. The fear feels super, super real and true for you. But let's say you go to that theme park with a friend. And if I'm that friend, I love roller coasters, right? I love roller coasters. I'm not afraid of heights. I'm going, woo, let's go, right? So I can get on that roller coaster, no issue. But other people, right? Okay, Tim's saying no roller coasters, right? So for other people, that roller coaster is super, super freaking scary, right? But again, right? So that's the thing, right? So where is the fear? The fear is not out there in the physical world. It's not out there. The roller coaster is not fear, right? The roller coaster itself is not fear. It's inside, right? It's inside. So the fear, right? So the fear, again, I know it feels super, super real and true for you, but the fear only exists inside of you. It doesn't exist outside of you in the physical world, right? Same thing as happiness, right? The happiness exists within you. It doesn't exist outside in the physical world. Like, as beautiful as these windows are, and they do bring me a lot of joy, right? Like the windows themselves are not happy or sad or afraid, right? So that fear only exists inside of you. So that's why I'm suggesting, right? So that's why I'm suggesting inside fear of failure. Yeah, Tim, that was one of the things that I was chatting about last week, was a lot of times that's how fear shows up. It shows up as the fear of failure, or sometimes as the fear of success. But ultimately what it is that you're afraid of is it's the fear of uncertainty, and it's the fear of the unknown. So that's why one of these tips and tools I'm suggesting is that you sit with the fear and get to know it. Again, that's uncomfortable, right? You have to stretch yourself outside of your comfort zone a little bit, because it is uncomfortable to sit with the fear. But if you get to know the fear, right? And if you start to really understand where does it really come from? Because sometimes what you think you're afraid of, if you sit with the fear and you really get to know it, sometimes you're not, what you're actually afraid of isn't what you thought you were afraid of. So that's one of the tips and tools. And the reason being is because if you sit with the fear and you get to know it a little bit better, right? You get to know it a bit better, then you're better able to navigate with the fear, through it, around it, over it, right? So the idea is to necessarily move through it, right? You don't necessarily get to skip it, right? So one of the other fun tools for fear is to pretend like you're in the car, right? And that you're going to put the fear in the passenger seat. get in the car, put the fear in the passenger seat. Now, what's empowering about that is, what does that mean? That means you're the driver. That means that you're in control, right? The fear is not in control, right? So again, fear is an emotion, right? It's a feeling, it's an emotion. It only exists within inside of you. The fear doesn't exist anywhere else outside of yourself, right? So you put the fear over in the passenger seat. So it's over there. You are not your feelings. You are not your emotions, right? So you as a being, as an individual, are a very powerful, right? Or a very powerful being. The fear doesn't get to be in control, right? So if you move the fear over into the passenger seat and you're like, no, I'm in charge, right? I feel the fear, but the fear is not in charge of me. I'm in charge of me. Now, what does that mean? That means that you, right, you're in the driver's seat, you're now in charge, you're now in control, right, of that navigation. And so that's where you have a little bit more of that power and that ability to kind of feel the fear and do it anyways. Because oftentimes what happens is, again, because the fear isn't real, it's the perception, right? So it's a perception of pain, the perceived pain, right? You're like, if I do that scary thing, it's probably going to be painful and I just want to avoid that. Right? But here's the thing. There's an equal chance that doing that scary thing is going to bring you pleasure, right? It's going to bring you pleasure. But your mind wants you to avoid pain and avoid fear rather than seek out that pleasure, right? But there's a 50-50 chance that either of those things is true. So that's where, like, you can feel the fear and do it anyway, because again, it's you're afraid because there's a perceived pain. There's a perceived pain, but there's also an equal chance of pleasure, right? So you still have to do the scary thing, because chances are it's not actually going to be painful, or not as painful as you thought, and it's probably going to yield some pleasure, right? Probably going to yield some pleasure. And then the other thing that happens is, when you're in the driver's seat, right? When you're in the driver's seat and you're in charge, the other thing that you can do with fear is turn the volume down. Right? Because if you're in the driver's seat, to me, if you're in the driver's seat, you're also the DJ, you're also in charge of the controls and the radio, right? If you're the pilot on the plane, you're in charge of the controls, right? So what that means is that even if you put the fear over in the passenger seat and the fear is still being unruly and it's still being noisy, and you can still hear that negative Nancy voice in your head, or that saboteur, right? Turn the volume down. Turn the volume down. You can be like, I hear you, right? I hear you. Thank you for sharing, but I release you. So you don't have to allow the fear to navigate, right? You get to navigate. So that's the fear. But again, so fear, right? It really shows up oftentimes when it comes to money or success, right? That fear of failure, that fear of success, those things feel very, very real and true. And I understand that, because it felt very, very real and true for me on my journey too. So one of the other things that I wanted to share with you today, what is going on with, I don't know what's going on with my Wi-Fi connection today. I feel like I've been having more trouble recently than usual. So I might have to call the internet company and see what's going on. Anyways, I don't have time for that anytime over the next week and a half, but that's okay. So one of the other things that I wanted to share with you today, since we've been talking about fear and some tools to sort of like navigate through that, right? Through that, or around it, or over it, right? This is a fun one, right? So we're going to shift from the fear into something more fun. Would that be okay? And so the fun thing that I want to share with you is an ancient untold truth about money, right? Because that's where a lot of times that fear of failure, fear of success really shows up, is when it comes to wealth, success, more money, financial freedom, all of those things. And so one of the untold, like ancient untold secret truths about money is that money loves speed. Money loves speed. Money loves speed. And so if you happen to be here, if you're joining me for the first time, or even if you're not, if you're catching this, because money loves speeds, would it be okay if I just like invited you all to something, if I shared a little something that would elevate your success journey, your wealth and success journey? Would that be okay if I shared that? So I actually have an event coming up next week called the Peaceful Billionaire Intensive, Money on Your Terms. And because money loves speed, right? I like to because money loves speed, it happens to be one of the money codes of conduct within the money codes of conduct playbook, which is something that you'll get access to at the event. Would anybody like access to that playbook, right? The money codes of conduct playbook? Yes, right? Yes or yes. So at the event, you can get access to that and so much more. We're going to be doing some amazing things. Day one is Ignite your peaceful billionaire state of mind. Day two is amplifying, right? Amplifying your success and your financial freedom journey. And then day two is like implementing, right? So really integrating the things that you'll be learning. So you'll be identifying your money personality and upgrading it, right? Upgrading it so to a new one that is supportive of wealth and financial freedom. You'll be designing your peaceful billionaire life so you have a clear vision of where you're going. And you'll also be identifying some of the really important numbers that you need to know in order for you to get there, right? So there's a magic number that would make you financially free. You need to know what that number is, and you need to have a plan. So we'll be doing all of these amazing things together at the event. It's going to be super fun. And so because money loves speed, and it is my mission, right? It is my mission to help 1 billion people become financially free and live the life of their dreams. It is my mission to make financial freedom the norm, right? To make that the norm. And one of the ways I can do that is by supporting people on that path and on that journey, right? And so because money loves speed, for the next 24 hours, that means until 12 noon tomorrow, right? 12 noon tomorrow, that I'm on the East Coast. So 24 hours from now, wherever you are in the world, but it's 12 noon Eastern time. I have a fast action bonus for you. So if you go to thepeacefulbillionaire.com, thepeacefulbillionaire.com/intensive, thepeacefulbillionaire.com/intensive, you can enroll for an emerald ticket to come to this extraordinary 3-day training, specialized training, experiential training is $47. The emerald ticket is $47. And for the next 24 hours for that fast action, I'm going to automatically upgrade anyone who signs up to a diamond ticket. The diamond tickets are normally $97. Now the value, right? The value of the package of the event is $11,485. And you might think like, Jessica, that's crazy. Why in the world, right? Why in the world would you give away so much value for such a small investment? And the reason, hey, Alana, and the reason that I would do that is because it truly is my mission to see other people succeeding on their financial journey, not getting stuck and caught up in that fear, right? And living the life of your dreams. So if that's something that interests you, I will share, so on Instagram, so you can go to the website yourself, right? You can type it in, thepeacefulbillionaire.com/intensive, INTENSIVE. Or I will be updating the link on my Instagram profile, on my Instagram bio. So you can go to my Instagram profile and as soon as I get off of this live, I'll be putting the link there. So it'll be easier for you to just click. You can read more about it, right? You don't have to like dive and commit. You can check out the page, read more about it. But if you want to take advantage of that fast action bonus, all you do is get an emerald ticket, right? Get an emerald ticket within the next 24 hours, and I'll automatically upgrade you to diamond. With the emerald ticket, you get to come to the event for all 3 days. You get to also invite a friend. So you can invite a friend, family member, or colleague to a friend from anywhere in the world. So you get to share the wealth. This is an online virtual event, so you don't have to leave your home. It's not going to cost you anything extra. It is an investment, a small investment of $47 and an investment of your time, right? So it's happening next week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That's July 27, 28, 29, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern time, which is 8 to 2 Pacific time, depending on where you are. And it will absolutely, you're going to 10x your earning power, transform the trajectory of your financial destiny, right? And have incredible tools to have a new plan for financial freedom and the ability for you to bring that knowledge and that ability into your life. One of the other things that you'll get at the event is the world's most simple money management system that is designed to set you up on that path. So what else? Well, if you're watching from another platform, so I'll be updating all the links. I'll put the link in the comments again. If you're Instagram, if you go to the Peaceful Billionaire, at the Peaceful Billionaire on Instagram, I'll put the link on my bio there. Or you can go to thepeacefulbillionaire.com/intensive. Or if you're catching it on catching the video on another platform, I'll put the link in the comments. And it's Friday. It's also Friday, which means I love to celebrate, right? Celebrate some wins for you all. If you have something that you're celebrating, a win that you had this week, no matter how big or how small, or even something that you're grateful for. If you want to share that in the chat, we'll celebrate together. And the reason is that what gets celebrated gets replicated. What gets celebrated gets replicated. So that's why I always wrap up on Fridays when I do my lives with some celebration of either a win or something that you're grateful for, because what you celebrate gets replicated, right? And you want that to replicate, right? If you had a win, you want to have more wins. If you're feeling grateful about something, you want more things in your life to be grateful for. Yes, yes, or yes. And so, yeah. Anybody want to share in the comments any wins or gratitude? Something that you have this week? Peter, you there? Tim? Anyone? Ilana, do you want to share? Oh, grateful for time with my family and a vacation week. Yes, that's amazing. Where are you going? Celebrating that. Anybody else? A win or a gratitude? My win or gratitude this week is I taught my masterclass. I taught the How to 10X Your Earning Power and Live the Life of Your Dreams masterclass on Tuesday this week. And oh, it's almost over. You went camping. Amazing. That sounds fun. Yeah, so I'm grateful, and that was a win. I had a lot of people on for the masterclass, and a lot of people that are joining the intensive. So it was super fun, super fun. I'm celebrating that, and also all of the tech stuff that I've been doing on the back end, all of these systems and stuff that I've been improving. Refining and improving. So that's a big win and celebration on my part as well. And just helping more people. That's my jam. So all right. Well, I wish you, I'm gonna go, right? I usually go live on Fridays from 11:30 to 12. We're a few minutes past 12, but I also started a few minutes today because of my new tech setup. I was having some trouble logging into StreamYard, but anyways, so I will put that link where everybody can get access to it. If nothing else, check it out. See if you feel like it might be for you, right? It might be for you. And it is for you if you're an entrepreneur or a professional or anyone who is looking to take their financial life to the next level. It is for you. So I just encourage you to check it out, but certainly no pressure. You don't have to, but I do highly encourage it and recommend it. People are having just incredible transformations from the event. It was an event similar type of event that started my path and my journey. So it's incredible for me to have the opportunity to be able to now give back to others in that way. So all right, it's Friday. I wish you an incredible, extraordinary, prosperous, and blessed weekend. And I will see you all. I would say I would see you next Friday. However, next Friday, I won't be doing my normal live because I will be live at the event. So perhaps, right, perhaps next Friday, maybe I'll go live at like 10:30, an hour earlier than I normally would, just for a few minutes right before we start the event. But the event does start on Thursday, not on Friday. The event is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday next week. So I'd love to have you if you're interested. Otherwise, again, just wishing you a super blessed, extraordinary, and prosperous weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.